Hello, short kings. Hello, bald boys. Hello, muscle mommies. Hello, trad wives living a double life, and everyone in between. My name is Poopy. You're watching O3 Drop. It's the first video I've made in a while. Obviously, it's because there's some new Katsu spice. So we're gonna get into that today. I'm not the first person to post a deck tech for the new Katsu list, so you will see similarities between this and other lists. One of which I want to point out is going to be Teklo Foundry, because I will say the sideboard was heavily inspired by some points they made. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that. But anyway, quick life update. If you've watched the channel before, you can tell that I'm in a new space. So I moved in with my girlfriend several months ago, who is now my fiance. Yay, confetti. And also I started a new job. Yay, confetti. The sound is the confetti like popping, but I'm not going to do so much editing, so that's just my best impression of it. I also have several animals with me. I've got my dog as well as my fiance's dog, which is a big old boy here. I don't know if he'll come up here. So we got him. We got some guinea pigs around, so you might hear some noise in the video. Hopefully it's not too distracting. But other than that, that's all my life updates. Let's hop into the video. So I'm calling this Edging with a Vengeance. I'm sorry for calling it that, but this deck is so fun, guys. Obviously, for the last year, it has been pretty rough to be a Katsu player. I had a lot of doubts about the Ira deck being able to fix some of those problems, because Edge of Autumn, if we read it, reads like ass. This reads like just complete cheeks, right? I mean, it's just a 1 with Go Again. You know, like Starfall was 2, and all you had to do was play a lightning card. So I just kind of was never excited about this card. Obviously, most people weren't, because no one ever played it. There wasn't any reason to. However, we have new cards that make this, in my opinion, a contender for Katsu's best weapon. Obviously, the other is going to be Kadachi's. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's plenty of reasons to run either. Katsu in the Kadachi build has more of an ability to keep pressure on turns where you keep 1 or 2 cards and don't really like them for an arsenal target, or just can only arsenal 1 of them. You can swing Kadachi twice, get 1 extra point of value. But the downside is that it actually blocks less well, because there's more 2 blocks in the Kadachi version. There's quite a bit more 3 blocks in the Edge of Autumn version, and the new combo cards for Edge of Autumn make things like Ancestral Harmony a little bit better. So we're going to go into some of that. We're going to stick with Breeze Rider Boots. It is our only battle-worn equipment now, which means that, yes, we have more value in our armor suite than before, but we are less able to block out important on-hits, which is pretty, pretty detrimental, not gonna lie. Like, this list doesn't have an answer for everything, and one of the big things that it's missing is the ability to block with armor comfortably. Hardened Cross Straps, it's the OG, it's the GOAT. We're not on any other chess piece in this list. Really great list to run Tunic if that's, your thing. However, I am at the point where I'm all in on Cross Straps. I don't see myself putting in Tunic unless there's a major meta shift. Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, look, it's the better mask. It's just like, if you're a Katsu player and you're on Mask of Momentum primarily, I'm not saying you're wrong, but like there's a whole group. There's like people who know and people who don't know, and you're probably unsure which side you're in, but we're not. you know, those of us who know, we know this is it. This is super hot fire. Massive Pouncing Lynx, just to go over some targets for you in this list. We have yellow Descendant Gust Waves. We have yellow and blue Whelming Gust Waves. We have Double Strikes. We have Dishonor. We have Retrace the Past. We have blue Flusterfist. We have Seek Vengeance. Right? This is a really explosive list, and Pouncing Lynx is how we do that. I will say that I have Mask of Momentum in the sideboard, and I would love to cut it. However, every time I play another ninja or I play into Gravy Bones, one of my friends inevitably says to me, you should be on Mask of Momentum here. I don't always agree. However, the results are, they both tend to be good. You know, like a lot of times people will be like, you should be on Mask of Momentum here, and it's already a favored matchup. You know, like we're pretty good into aggro races. So Pouncing Lynx is, in my opinion, most of the time in those aggro races, shutting off a hero ability or hitting a Fluster Fist is going to be, or Salt the Wound. Those are going to be what I want to do. But I respect when people say Mask of Momentum. However, there's extra consideration to cut it here because one weapon attack per turn, right? Except only kind of, because Okana Scar Wraps is the best card that Katsu has now. As an attack reaction, you tap it, you banish your Edge of Autumn, and a target ninja attack action card gets +1. That don't say nothing about combo. No, it do not. No, it don't, sir. You can absolutely be buffing your Surging Strikes. Now, am I gonna run blue Surging Strike? Not in this list. Am I considering it? Not all that much, but yeah, a little bit. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say that I have them sleeved up next to me. They're in inner sleeves, but they're not, you know, they're not sleeved up, but they are in inner sleeves. And then it has an additional line of text. Whenever an attack you control with Vengeance in its name hits, you may equip an Edge of Autumn from your Banish Zone. Okay, guys, super hot fire. This card's incredible. However, separate the little babies from the big baby men, right? Little tiny babies, big baby men, right? You can't just use this willy-nilly, right? You really got to make sure you're considering the second clause here. Because if you mess it up, right, and you've banished your Edge of Autumn and you run out of your Vengeance cards, or you just don't see them quickly enough, or you're spending a turn where you're like discarding your Whelming Gust Wave to go get a Vengeance just to make sure that you can get your Edge of Autumn back, that doesn't feel great. But you also have to be aware that equipment destruction is a thing, right? We're not that great into mech right now. We block with our Breeze Riders and our Hardened Cross Straps, but if we lose this or Mask to like a T-Bone, we're good into mech. But like equipment destruction in general, really tough right now. So like you don't want to lose your weapon for the whole game, right? So I really even think that there's a possibility that maybe you keep breaking scales in the list just for things like, I don't know. Maybe you keep it in the list for, you know, decks like Jarl, but this does have 2, so, you know, if Jarl's only destroying equipment with 0 defense, then this is better, but also just consider how bad it would be to get your equipment destroyed while your weapon is banished. That's all I'm saying, right? Because when this equipment goes away, so too does the second clause. You ain't getting that Edge of Autumn back. Now let's talk about the list, right? We got all the goodies here. We got Ancestral Empowerment. We got the Bonds. We got the Ascendant. We're gonna start, actually, before we go too much into new cards. Let's talk about Be Like Water. See a lot of people saying you can pump Be Like Water to a break point. I don't think that's a great move most of the time, right? I think Be Like Water is typically better as just an extender, a card from Arsenal to play, or even just like a feint. And so, yeah, we want Be Like Water to hit sometimes. It's really nice to have that ninth, the 7th through 9th Surging Strikes. However, with the amount of like hand trap, I don't want to call it hand trap, but the amount of like discard prevention, if they block 3 and then you're like, aha, I've got you, and they, shelter, like losing your weapon for that is not really a move that I love. I think you got to be a little bit more patient unless you need this to hit. If you are in an aggro race or something and they say, block 3, and you just know they don't have ways to prevent, you're sure of it, and you need to go for it just to get the line started, yeah. But I think most of the time, like, you kind of want them to think about Be Like Water more than you're thinking about Be Like Water, is how I feel about it. And I would love to cut this card one day, but we're not there yet. It's a 0 cost for Katsu. It's 3, go again. The big thing it's missing is combo, but we'll keep it for now. Then we got Bonds of Ancestry to set the Gust Wave. This is the one that everyone's talking about, right? This is the tutorable Command and Conquer. It does not have the no D-Reacts text. However, this is also the first ninja popper ever. There are no ninja attacks with base power 6 except for this. That's really nice. So obviously on defense, we're not really tutoring for this for a popper. Can't really do that yet. But it's nice to have that in the main board. It helps even for things like clashes. We're probably not running into too many clashes, but it is nice to just have some added power there. And also the 7 value swing weapon, send an act vengeance to threaten arsenal. Really good 2-card hand. Not as good as an Ira, obviously, but we can also pump this with our arms and get that Edge of Autumn back if it hits. So pretty sweet. Flusterfist, if you're wondering why like Flusterfist is going to stay in the list, it's just so good with Retrace the Past, because this is just Salt the Wound with base power 4. And if you're like, well, how easy is it to get that? It's actually kind of, you got to jump through some hoops. It's not super easy. However, this is when you don't know what you're going for on your Bonds of Ancestry turn, you're going for Flusterfist. Why? Because every other card you need to keep in the deck. You need those threat densities. So sometimes I've banished a red Flusterfist from my deck knowing that I have red Flusterfist left in the deck, but getting the blue Flusterfist off Bonds of Ancestry, just because it's like, here's 2 more damage. I'll save the 4 in my deck for later. This turn's already maybe a little underwhelming, or I'm not really threatening enough here to go and try and get like a Gust Wave of the second wind and keep things going. So I love Flusterfist. I'll stay on 6 of it until they give me a reason to get off of it. Gust Wave of the second wind. Not so underwhelming anymore. Not underwhelming at all. Really good. Like, just so good. 0 for 4. Blocks 3. Katsu tutor. And if Surging Strike was the last card, gets go again. It's also just great for those Bonds turns, right? When you break your Breeze Rider boots, you're going for max damage, right? And so you Bonds of Ancestry, your boots are already broken. You have to pay for this, and this ain't a 4. Even this is a 3, and it's not drawing a card. Get that extra point of value, go for a Gust Wave, go right back into Bonds, or Bonds into Gust Wave of the second wind, into Retrace the Past. Use your mask to go get your blue Flusterfist. Name that shit, open the center. These lines feel so good. And that's what we're playing towards throughout the game. Red 100 wins. Ooh, I wanted to cut red 100 wins. I think the mistake that people will make with this new deck is cutting red 100 wins. I think that it looks not great. You're like, attacks for 3. It's a 2 block, right? That's head jab. We can get something else in there, you know, some spice in there, whether we want our Salt the Wounds or Tenacities. And we'll go over some of my sideboard picks later. Like, you Razor Reflex is something that people probably want to put in this slot. Keep 100 wins because you need some extenders. This deck has extenders if you have the start of your combo, and luckily Edge of Autumn starts the combo a lot, but even then it's like 2-card hands, right? This is a great card to put in your arsenal. This is a great card to get with Bonds of Ancestry, and most of all, it has combo. So Flick Flack and Ancestral Harmony affect it. That's what we're maxing out on in this deck. I don't know if that's going to be where I end up. You know, you know what I had in here? And I'll shout out to the person who won their national championship. I think it was in Vietnam on Katsu. I had even bigger than that. And I had red and yellow even bigger than that. This is, I think that's all I had. Red and yellow even bigger than that. Still really good. Get information, get, you know, your Quicken token and all that. I prefer 100 wins. I want to make sure this hits as many times as possible. If you've watched my channel before, if you've heard me talk about that card before, you'll know I hate it, but we're going to talk more about that in a second. This is, you know, this is the card that we got. And I had told people at my armory the Tuesday before they announced this list, I was like, we're going to get a 0 for 4 combo card off of Edge of Autumn. We're going to get it. And I'm only going to be happy if it has base go again, and it can block 2, and that'd be fine. Turns out I'm still happy. Turns out I'm really happy. I think this card is awesome, right? Just 4 go again on a 0 cost. Like, that's what Katsu wants, but it's not enough to just be 4 go again on a 0 cost. It's got to have that word on it. It's got to have combo. If it doesn't have combo, that ain't it, you know? Yeah, we're not on breaking scales anymore, but we need to see our combo cards because we can tutor for them, right? The deck is about really being able to know what your best threat is to go get, you know, turn over turn. So exchanging your yellow Whelming Gustwave for a Seek Vengeance, often a trade you're making. And it blocks 3. Ooh. This shit blocks 3. Ooh. So good. I love that. Because this deck had a lot of 2 blocks. I think I cut 9 2 blocks, probably. I cut my spinning wheels. I cut some no blocks with even bigger than that. I probably cut like 9 2 blocks in making this list. And I added 9 cards. So that's pretty sweet. We got our Surging Strikes. Do I have to talk about Surging Strike? No, I don't. I don't have to talk about Whelming Gustwave. I will talk about yellow, and I will talk about yellow. All right. 6 yellow cards in the deck. You have to have Surging Strikes. Necessary. I think Dishonor's pretty hot right now, guys. I think there's a lot of heroes that need that hero ability. I think Syndra really wants to get those daggers back because if she doesn't have starters. Ooh, I think Dishonor is hot. So I want to be able to tutor for my Descending Gustwaves off of my Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, right? Similar with Whelming Gustwave. But the difference is Whelming Gustwave is when I am either tutoring to extend a Bond's turn where I've broken my boots and I just need, let's say my Bonds can target Retrace the Past and I have a Fluster Fist in my hand. Okay, I need something to trigger Retrace the Past. Let me go get this Whelming Gustwave, go again from the boots, 0 cost. I'm not paying for it, right? That's where this really comes in clutch. I don't really like attacking with it as much for that reason. I want to save this threat when I can. This is the first card I'm going to pitch in my hand most of the time. Even if I have a Surging. Even if I have it. I want to pitch this card. I want this card to bail me out on those turns where I'm like, man, I just need one more of my like Gust Wave line. that's when I'm coming in with this, right? This is the card that says banish the top Surging Strike from your deck. However, now it actually has other text. It says your attacks with combo get +1 this turn. Banish the top card of your deck. If it has combo, you may play it, right? Obviously, I kid. I'm just joking. It doesn't say banish the top Surging Strike. But now this is better than ever because we cut a lot of those cards that were really good but didn't have combo, right? Or even we cut a lot of one-cost combo cards. Like this works with Spinning Wheel Kick, and I love Spinning Wheel Kick. It's got that natural go again that we love so much. However, I gotta pay for that, and I've already spent a card. So I love that. Love that. Happy for you. Dishonor, you know it. You love it. Flusterfist, we talked about it. Legacy of Ikaru. So they just love giving us more ancestral empowerments, and I'm all about it. This card also is the first card that, like, at reaction speed gives a card combo. Yes, it doesn't keyword it. Or rather, no, it doesn't keyword it. But yeah, target ninja attack gets +1, and when this hits, if Edge of Autumn was the last attack this combat chain, that's the combo part, draw a card. So on hit, draw. You don't just get it, right? You have to hit it to get, it turns it into a Whelming Gust Wave, essentially. Essentially, it turns any attack into an active Whelming Gust Wave. That's pretty cool. However, if we don't love that, blue block 3 with a 0 cost? Come on, man! Come on, man! That's crazy. It used to be in Flesh and Blood, we begged and we pleaded and we just said, give us, please, sir, can I have another blue block 3 with a 0 cost and combo? And they were like, we'll think about it. And now they're like, okay, now that we gave you several of those, would you like an Ancestral Empowerment that does that too? Come on, Jack! That's crazy. I love that. That's probably not the best accent. I don't know. Retrace the past. Oh my god. Got me retracing my entire life to ask how did I end up here, thinking that Katsu wasn't gonna come back. The kid is back. God, this card is so sick. This card is everything I wanted it to be. And it's a Katsu spec. That's what's so beautiful about this card. Spec more things for Katsu, right? Mugenshi release and Lord of Wind, not enough. This is what we want. This is how you do it. That's why he's the GOAT. Okay. There's one thing I'll say about this card. If you want to add Break Tide or Pounding Gale or Blackout Kick or Find Center to your list as a one of, more power to you. That's 100% style points, and I respect it. I understand it. I'm clocking it, and I respect it. I think that's a super cool way to build Katsu. You probably already noticed something that we can name this that I haven't talked about too much yet. You can name this Edge of Autumn. Okay, why would you name this Edge of Autumn? Are you just trying to get Seek Vengeance? Are you trying to get Enact Vengeance? No, you silly baby. Well, yes, you silly baby, that works, but also, no, because I'm coming back in, let's say it's Flusterfist, we've hit 4 times, this is coming in for 8, I'm activating my gloves, right? And then, I'm not banishing my Edge of Autumn, I'm banishing thine Edge of Autumn, right? Thy true self, Edge of Autumn. Or rather, not at all thy true self, the imposter Edge of Autumn. We're banishing this, and it works. It works because it's cool like that. Don't question science. So we're doing that, right? We're naming this Edge of Autumn now. We're banishing it to get +1 on our next attack. Or if you messed up, if you weren't thinking with your Scar Wraps activations and you lost your Edge of Autumn, you name this Seek Vengeance, and they go, is he coming in with an Act Vengeance? And you go, oh yeah, no, 0 for 4. They say no blocks, you get your Edge of Autumn back, right? They might not let you do that. I think it's very smart right now against this list to not let them get Edge of Autumn back when you can. Blue Seek Vengeance. I know they knew what they were doing when they made the art of this card. They sent this to Ramza Ardiputra is the artist. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I know I didn't do it confidently, but I hope I pronounced it correctly, right? They sent it to Ramza and they said, Ramza, the card's not coming in yellow. And Ramza said, all right, so you want like 4th of July bomb pop ice cream vibes? And they were like, that's not what we said. We just said it's not coming in yellow. And Ramza said, but that's what you were thinking. And James White himself said, damn, you right. Okay, Whelming Gustwave, blue, you got it. I love Double Strike. I'm going to put it in every Katsu list, and I'm putting 2 in this one, because if they're super blocky, we don't have Kodachis anymore. This is my favorite Arsenal target in the game. I love arsenaling a Double Strike more than anything else. Like, Guardian players, when they're sitting on that pummel in Arsenal, and they're just, like, playing mind games with you, and they think they're too quick. This is being too quick. I'll sit on this for a couple turns if I don't need it. Just right in there. And then I get a hand and I'm like, man, this hand would be really good with a Katsu trigger. I'm guaranteeing a Katsu trigger, except against Warriors and the goddamn Valiant Dynamos with this card, right? We're getting that trigger. Love putting that in Arsenal. And if they're super blocky, cutting Be Like Water for it makes sense, right? Because this isn't hitting anyway. Yeah, it's a cool extender, but we're actually hitting with Double Strike, okay? Flick Flack, banned in Project Blue, so you know it's good. What else can I say? Razor Reflex also for super blocky, and this is where I said, like, it was Teklo Foundry's video who really sort of got me thinking about the sideboard and having this sort of simple heuristics and transformative, just like the difference between, I'm running this into an aggro matchup, right? If they're just letting me hit a bunch, I'm going to grab this, right? If they're super aggro matchups, if I'm going second, maybe I'll grab Flick Flack. I actually don't know when I'd grab Flick Flack first or second. I'm not that good of a player. But like super blocky matches, I'm grabbing Double Strike, I'm grabbing Razor Reflex. I did that the other day against a Kasai. I cut a couple Be Like Waters and my Yellow Whelming, I believe is what I cut for that. Maybe I think I kept Descendant Gustwave because I was trying to go for Dishonors, make sure there's, this new Kasai wants to play draw swords and stuff, so their swords are free, so I was valuing Dishonor there. But, if they're super blocky, grab yourself a Double Strike, grab yourself a Razor Reflex. If they're super aggressive, maybe Assault the Wound and a Flick Flack. If they're trying to fatigue you, Mugenshi release Lord of Wind, right? We are Katsu after all, right? We gotta be the Lord of Wind, right? And it's just a bit sad to see these like not get played, just a personal point of privilege. I like these cards. I don't think I've ever won a game because of these cards, but I just think they're neat. Mask of Momentum, you can cut it. Brother, if you're on a budget, don't even look at this card because Pouncing Lynx is so good. Cut it. It's fine. Tide Flippers, that's our AB1. We can't run Lantern anymore. And the rest of our equipment is too good. So we're racing now. We're hard. We are racing our arcane dealers. Honestly, don't run this into a Cilio, maybe. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Right? They're not going to block out Katsu completely, right? Cilio can block better than people give him credit for, but he's not blocking us out. So maybe keep Breeze Riders. I don't know. Some considerations I had while running this list. Y'all know Null Rune Gloves. I don't think we're doing AB2 like I just talked about. Spellfray Gloves. Yeah, same thing. Blanche. We got a lot of prisms in my area. We got a lot of prisms. We got a lot of gravies. I'm not sure if Katsu runs this into gravy, though, is the problem, right? I think that we're cleaning up enough that I don't know if we need to turn off their ally for a turn. You know, they're also just they're a tricky deck, and I don't have it figured out. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have the time to test into gravy because every match is 2.5 hours long. So no, thank you. Command and Conquer. I think that it could be worth it for those blocky matches. Just to more of this, especially if you are in a prism heavy meta. There's another popper. Yeah, it's not 7, but 6 is still a popper. Double Strike. Like I said, the swap that I tend to make with Double Strike is Be Like Water, so it's worth considering a third if we're just trying to swap out 3 for 3. Tenacity. Man, is this card good, dude. This card is so sick. My buddy plays this in Fang. Sheesh, get on that. This is crazy. This is crazy. However, right now, why am I not going for it? I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I'd rather have Salt the Wound. I think we're hitting our combo lines more consistently. I think we're getting on hits a little bit more with our arms. And I just thought, if they're blocking me out, that's cool, but I'm almost never going to activate Pouncing Lynx to go get this if they're completely blocking me out. Maybe I could see you pump over your final attack by 1. If they've blocked with all their cards and all their equipment, this comes in for 10. 11 if there's one from Arsenal. Yeah, I could see it. But most of the time, I'm not going for this with my Pouncing Lynx. Here's a new card, Vengeance Never Rests. I keep thinking about this card, and I keep thinking, that's pretty good. Pretty good. However, they signaled to me. They gave me a sign that they don't want me running this in Katsu. They made it cost 1. All right. Why run the card? Start with that. It's another card that can get Edge of Autumn back. That's why, right? Having Vengeance in its name, like our cards really, in a perfect list, when we move down the line a little, our cards are Surging Strike, anything with Vengeance in its name, and anything with Gust Wave in its name, right? That's a perfect, and then, your Bonds, your Dishonors, your Retraces, all that good stuff. I'm not sold on it yet, though. It has this text that a lot of cards in Flesh and Blood have had in the last year, where it's like, yeah, banish it and you can play it again this turn, right? So yeah, like it'll have the go again, so it's a little bit better than something like Eternal Inferno, right? Was kind of a miss with this effect. I don't remember the Draconic one. It also should have go again, I think, if it's Draconic, right? It does have go again, but like that one comes in for 4. This comes in for 3. So there is a line where you go like Edge of Autumn, this, banish your Edge of Autumn, pump this, it hits, get your Edge of Autumn back, Edge of Autumn, this. If you have the amulet that untaps your arms, untap, tap it again, this goes to 4, banish your Edge of Autumn, get your Edge of Autumn back, Edge of Autumn, this. That's 6 resources for like 12 damage. So, you know, the like magical Christmas land for this. Actually, no, it's a little bit more because you got +3 from each, so it's 16, right? Because each of those are going to be 4, and then you're going to get 3 damage from the Edge of Autumn swing. I think that comes out to 15. I'm not really mathing right now, though. Yeah, because you don't get a final swing, so it'd be 15, right? And if I'm wrong, no, I'm not. Card's cool though. It's just I'm not sold on it yet. I like the 0 cost too much. However, blue block 3, pretty sweet. Warmonger's Diplomacy is a meta call. Do you need it? Do you not? Anyway, that's it, guys. That's the list. I made a 35-minute video out of a list you've probably seen before. I'm so back. But great time to get into Katsu. Really cool deck. Really cheap deck. This isn't the final number here. It's not a $200 deck. It's pretty close though. Like, I mean, you're gonna have to get an armory deck, and then like, my God, let's just go here for pricing, right? Mask of Momentum is $80 of that. Mask of Momentum is $80 worth of this $200 price tag. And this deck is sick as frick, my guys and girls and squirrels. Right? This deck's sick as frick. Will it be meta relevant? I think so. I think so. However, am I biased? I think so. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Poopy. This is Katsu. Y'all already know what it is. Give us some love. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.